What it do, peoples? Let's get on here with our weekly wrestling rant. Today we gonna talk about last week's Monday Night Raw, NXT, Dynamite, SmackDown, Collision, as well as AEW All In. So, Raw, let's break it down. On Raw, the overall program itself was fine. The matches during the show were fine. I can't wait for Gunther and Randy. Randy Orton's always been one of my favorite wrestlers since he started. He's always been one of my favorite. I always like Randy and how smooth he was in the ring. I like how they building up Big Bronson Reed. Now he can have this big brouhaha with Braun Strowman. They need some monster. Raw needs monster heels. WWE needs monster heels, as a matter of fact, because they don't really have any. I mean, other than Gunther and Bronson and Bloodline, what other heels do they have? They don't really have any other heels after that. Everyone else is a mega babyface, so they got to turn. They got to build up a big heel. So I'm glad they're doing that with Bronson Reed. Have him going against Braun Strowman. I'm pretty sure he's gonna beat Braun too, so it'd be good for Bronson Reed. New Day, I'll be glad when they go their separate ways. I mean, they've been together for 10 years now. I mean, so I'll be glad when they turn heel, and when either Xavier turns on the group or Kofi kicks Xavier out the group. One of those things are gonna happen. But yeah, that turn's coming for New Day. So now with Rhea Ripley, Damian Priest, the Terror Twins, Dom, Liv, and the Judgment Day, I like how they left them laying at the end of Raw. I was like, okay, let them know, like, hey, we got y'all covered. It's gonna take more than just y'all to beat us. So that's fine, that's fair. I like that. As long as they don't do it too long, they don't get stale. So yeah, that was pretty much Raw for me. Like, the matches were matches. I mean, never nothing to write home about. A lot of different angles and interviews and stuff, setting things up for the big event, which is what happens. You got to set up your big matches. Now let's move on to NXT. I would have more to talk about, but I started watching NXT and I fell asleep. So that's my NXT coverage. I don't know what happened on it. Then we got Dynamite. Every single time I see Jericho out there, he needs to go away. Like, go away. When Jericho's out there, when the Young Bucks are out there, Orange Cassidy, oh my God, Jack Perry, anytime they're out, it's awful. And I knew it was going to have some little nonsense finish too with their matches, and it was going to be a triple threat match. I knew it was going to be a hokey finish, and that was going to end up happening. You can just tell. I mean, my God, man. Some just long matches for no reason, and doing all these. Everyone has to dive. Everyone has to flip. Everyone. I'm like, why? If everyone's doing it, it's not important. It's just frustrating to watch. I mean, just nonsense. With Dynamite, I mean, sheesh. That show, it's a hodgepodge. It's like it's thrown together with no organization whatsoever. No real thought into it. Just like, hey, we'll just go out here and say some stuff and have a bunch of matches. For what? For what purpose? For one of the 19,000 titles they got? I mean, like, good grief. And it's just, Jericho just needs to go away. And I mean, at least I can say this, but I can't say the positive about it. Since they were in Europe getting ready for Wembley, the crowd was nice. The crowd was into it. So, hey, I can't knock that. But just looking at the quality of the matches that they had, I'm like, ugh, Jesus. This needs some work. And this is pretty forgettable. Now, on Friday Night SmackDown, where we had the Bloodline Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu were to defend the tag team titles against Street Profits. However, it was a big old swerve there when Tonga Loa got anointed as tag team champion, which is hilarious. The fact that he got a title and didn't have to wrestle, I mean, man, did Roman beat him up that bad? Like, we just got to give you a title, man, because he cracked you with that chair a week before. So we just put the belt on him, and that'd be that. I mean, and I can't say this. He didn't do too bad in the match. He didn't botch terribly. At the end of the match, when he started talking, I'm like, who authorized that? Just keep walking. Keep walking, look intense, and walk off. You don't have to say anything. Please don't say anything. Yeah, he needs to say a word. So glad they won. I'm glad Naomi, Bianca, and Jade, they won their match too. They needed a win. As the big three, they all needed to win, especially Naomi, because she just been getting beat left and right. Anytime Naomi's in a match, I just know she's gonna take the pin. I just know she's taking a pinfall whenever she's in a match. I'm glad she got the victory. I'm glad she won. Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes. That's gonna be interesting to see. I mean, they're trying to keep Kevin Owens babyface, which is fine. You know, they're trying to keep him babyface, and they got him doing all the heelish motions, but not none of the heelish action. So, fair. Okay. So, let's see how that match is. I'm pretty sure the match is going to be fine between those two. They're two good workers. They know how to call matches, and they've been doing this for a long time. So, I don't expect anything too crazy to happen during that match. So, yeah, that's SmackDown. The other matches that happened on the card, I mean, you know, LA Knight defended the U.S. title, which was fine against Santos Escobar. I'm not the biggest Escobar fan. To me, though, honestly, him and Roosh from AEW, they strip away Escobar's mustache. They look just alike to me. Sorry, I don't know why they look just alike, and they move similar to me too. So yeah, that's why I'm not a big fan. Also, not a big fan of Rush either. I just think like don't like that guy like much. Not a big fan of his. So we go on to Collision. So that was Friday Night SmackDown. So on to Collision, where, you know, a whole bunch of shenanigans happened, as always. Seeing the hologram, like, ugh. Jericho was on the show again, ugh. Hologram, all he did was just flippity floppity all over the place. All he did was run, dive, and flip. And the other Collision, those matches, is like, all right, I don't know what the point of these are, but seriously, it's just whatever. But the thing that stood out to the most to me was Hook against Big Bill. The fact that Hook won. Hook is my size. Hook is my size, my weight. Big Bill's a dude that's 7 foot tall. Big Bill tapped out to the transmission. How absurd is that? I'm sorry. He's supposed to grab that little dude by one arm, choke slam him, and be done with this. That match should have been no more than 10, 15 seconds at the most, and Hook should have got obliterated. But they're trying to build him. Whatever. So yeah, that was just completely absurd to me. Now, we got All In, where the absurdity continued. Now, I won't go pay no $50 to watch it, but I did watch a lot of it. Thank you, various social media platforms, and people just showing the matches, which is great for me. Because if I'd have paid a dime and saw Mercedes Moné and Britt Baker's match, I'd have wanted a refund. I would have wanted a refund. The botches in that match were unbelievable. Unbelievable. So that was one of the worst things I've seen. And that's even including the fact that Jericho was on his card. Jericho was on his card, and where he lost a Hook, which is awful. I mean, dude, Jericho, the crowd at Wembley Stadium, they liked it. They enjoyed it. But what's the follow-up? What's going to happen next? What's going to happen this week during the show? What's going to happen? Because I don't think any follow-up's been planned. I can just see that. Just based off AEW's history, ain't no real follow-up plan. Same thing, Daniel Bryan beating Swerve. Why are you going to put your championship on someone who announced they're going to be semi-retired? I don't care what anyone says. I don't care what AEW fans or how many fans of Daniel Bryan there are. And don't get me wrong, I'm not the biggest Danielson fan, but I know the guy's he's a tremendous wrestler. I'm not gonna knock that at all. But he doesn't have that charisma to carry off being a part-time champion. He can't do it. He's no Roman Reigns. Sorry, he's not. He doesn't have that ability to create that type of aura without being there. Daniel just doesn't have it. He doesn't have that ability. Sorry, he don't do it. And they buried Swerve, so he's back to obscurity now. The Young Bucks, of course, they were going to win their matches with their stupid-looking knees. God, that's one of the dumbest moves I've ever seen in my life. In some goofy fashion. I knew it was going to be being like a triple threat match or whatever. It is so dumb. And, I mean, their matches all look the same. All of them look the same. Then that big, crazy match they had or whatever. I'm completely out of order, but whatever. But that big, goofy match they had where all those people were there and Ricochet made his debut. Yeah, he did his high-flying stuff, which is what I expected him to do. But he lost. He lost his debut. Yep, in about 2 weeks to a month, he's gonna be underused like everyone else is who has talent. It's gonna be underused like everyone else, and it's just a shame. I mean, the match of the night to me though was honestly Ospreay and MJF. I'm glad it didn't go an hour. I'm glad the match wasn't an hour long, but it was a solid match. I didn't like the fact he had to call out Tiger Driver. Just do the move. We ain't gotta signify it. You don't have to signal out that you're doing it. You set him up for it. Just do it. He dropped him on his head, got him 1, 2, 3 because and also because of interference from Ryan Garcia. He back, whippity do. But I just think because you know what's gonna happen the next time they wrestle, right? MJF and Ospreay. The next time they wrestle, it's going to be he's gonna do the Tiger Driver and he's gonna kick out. They completely nullified one of the most dangerous moves in wrestling. They're gonna nullify it. They've done that with every single finisher. They just know what it doesn't matter anymore. I'm like, just keep the finisher safe. Just keep it safe. Who else was there? At All In because they had way too many matches. I'm like, good grief, man! This show went on forever. Who else? Oh, Mariah May and Toni Storm. I mean, you know, Mariah May won and Toni Storm, you know, didn't. And Mariah was bleeding for some reason, which I didn't understand why. I didn't see what caused her to bleed, but whatever. So she's a champ now. That's going to fizzle out like their women's division pretty much for the most part. I mean, I think Willow should be champion because I like Willow. I like her. But yeah, and all in all, that it was a super long pay-per-view. I mean, like, it was long. I'm like, man, that thing started at 12. I don't know what's after 5. I'm like, good God, man. People got lives. I can't sit here and watch wrestling that long. I got stuff to do. And it's a long show. I mean, some of the matches were, like I said, MJF and Ospreay. That was the best match to me. Danielson and the Swerve was second. Everything else after that was just garbage. It was just hot garbage to me. I'm like, good grief. Especially the girls. I'm like, ugh. And and the Young Bucks, they were just awful. The worst matches for me were Mercedes and Britt. That was the top tier worst. Second worst match was Jericho. Third worst was the Young Bucks. And the Young Bucks and Jericho match was neck and neck with how awful it was. But Jesus, man, they gotta do better. They gotta get produced or something, man, because they just letting them go on their whims, man. It's not working. But that's my wrestling rant for the week. Let me know what you think. What shows you enjoy? What match you enjoy? Would you love it? You hate it? Let me know what you got. Hit me back. Let me know. Peace.